So number one is ask one question at a time. I'm actually really bad at this when it comes to podcasts. If you heard some of these podcasts that I've done, which I recommend you go check out, Jordan P. Anderson podcast. In my interviews, I'll layer on these multiple questions. Keep it simple, keep it straightforward. Another thing, this is kind of what I do with podcasts, but also with your clients, to cut the intro. We want to just, we want to try to give as much context, or try to, maybe it's a tough question that we don't really feel comfortable asking, or, maybe it's a family business and you want to ask something tough about like what dad, the owner, has been doing. You're talking with the son and you want to ask, like, you kind of want to butter up the question. Just cut the intro, ask the question, because the sooner we can get to answering the question, the sooner we can start to solve the problem. But number 3 is asking rhetorical questions. Why ask a rhetorical question? Or, because sometimes rhetorical questions can come off as insulting a little bit. Number 4, stick to questions starting with what, and avoid the why questions. And why, Jordan? Why start with what? Because it gets sensitive. We're working with someone's business. We have to respect that vulnerability. We're coming in here and asking what questions makes it kind of objective. You kind of want to sit shoulder to shoulder with your clients. You don't want to look across the table and ask them. When you start to ask why questions, they have to start justifying their behavior. Why is this video on the webpage like this only 30 seconds? Or why did you guys think that shooting with an iPhone was a good idea? And why did you not use a microphone that was capable of recording quality audio? And it just it starts to, even some questions are like, why do you think you need a video? It becomes like very it can become judgmental, but we don't want our clients to be on the defense. We want them to be open, because when they're on the defense, they get closed up and they don't want to start to solve the problem. And it takes that, we're taking that vulnerability that they're wide open, and it just closes them more and more and say like, why'd you do this? Why are you such a failure? And so if you start asking what questions, you're putting them shoulder to shoulder with you, and you're looking out at the problem and saying, what are some better ways that we could have done this? Or like, what do you think this video needs? Or what would you like the website to look like? Or what do you think is a home run when it comes to shooting this video and putting it on your webpage and getting more clients from this? Like, what does a home run look? And it's like asking those what type questions starts to, we're partners in this, as opposed to like, I'm the master, you're the little wussy who, the scrub student who doesn't really understand it, and I'm here to teach you. Like it becomes way less condescending when you're asking these kind of sensitive questions. Okay. So this is what I was doing this 2 minutes ago. You have to get comfortable with silence. You thought of this really good question and you ask the question, and then the client has to think about it because it's a good question. And then it just gets silent in there, and you want to, again, this is like an immature consultant or a coach or an immature expert who are like, they ask the question and they just want to coach it. Or I've talked about silence in the price negotiation. That'll be $50,000. Give them a second to think about it. Let them kind of mill it over. Don't try to answer it for them, because it becomes condescending. It becomes like when you break the silence after you're asking a question that you thought was good, it really just shows like, well, I didn't really care about what your answer was. I just wanted to show you that I can ask a good question. And also, I already know the answer. And again, that just kind of like, okay, why did you ask the question then? Number 6 is actually listen to the question, and that ties into the breaking the silence. When you ask a great question, good job, Jordan. Step 1. Now listen. Actually, be okay with silence. Be okay with them thinking about the question, and start to. When I say actually listen, it means like, don't just you don't have to do this like active listening where you are. You're like nodding your head like, yeah, I get it. Don't think about the next question, or don't think about what's the next cool thing that you're about to say. When you're sitting there and you're present, and this is hard. This is a hard thing to do. It really takes some patience and maturity that you just have to really sit there and not think about the solution to the problem. Just listen to the problem. Listen to what they actually are saying. Listen, you're more than welcome to think deeper about what they're saying, or to try to think of the layers behind the answer that they're giving you. But don't start, if you hear them like, well, we wanted to really focus on the story of the company and really feature my dad. He's the owner of the company, and we wanted to really do. And then you're like, start thinking like, okay, yeah, do a documentary commercial about the video. And then it's like, then you just kind of drift off into this moment where you're not present and you're not giving any kind of respect to the vulnerability of the client. It's like, imagine like it's like, you go to the doctor and then like you're telling your doctor about your problem, and it's super, and it may be sensitive. It may be something that you don't feel comfortable talking about. And then your doctor's like, they're checking their phone and they're like, yeah, oh, okay, yeah. They're like reading something off a clipboard or they're on the computer. Like you want to be fully present is to like show that you are respecting their vulnerability and respecting the moment and the present moment that we have together right now. And it speaks volumes. I always have this complaint about salespeople or the people that I say it's like the people that shake your hand and they're like, they don't have the AirPods in, but they're like shaking your hand and it's like they forgot your name the moment your mouth, before your mouth even opened and said your name. They're just like, oh yeah. And it's just like, those kind of people drive me crazy, and I don't know why, and maybe I'm just like lumping this all together, but that's the evil salesperson in my mind. I've met so many salespeople like that. They're just like, yeah, okay, yeah. Oh, what's your name? George? Okay, nice to meet you, George. Gordon? It's okay. Yeah, okay. And it's just like, oh, you don't care about being in this moment. You don't care about me. You just care about yourself. And that's again the advice mantra that's creeping in, that's saying like, it's all about me. It's all about showing off my superiority, my expertise. Number 7 is to acknowledge the answer that you got when yes, you're staying present, and again, you don't have to do this. It's okay to do active listening, but I think we kind of overdo it, or we try to like, if we really want the client to like us, we're like, yes, exactly. That's, you're trying to be so much of a buddy or so much on their side with them. Just say, I get it. Or say, I hear you. You don't have to keep constantly like aggressively nodding your head like you get what they're saying. Just listen, be present. Thank you for telling me that, or that must have been hard to say that, but you don't really have to like juice them up or butter them up. Just like, and finally, this is the last one. Use any and every channel to ask a question. We don't have to be in a client meeting. We don't have to be on a Zoom call to talk face to face. We can be live streaming on YouTube. It can be on a phone call. It can be in a Slack channel, Discord channel. It can be email. It can be a text message. Don't limit yourself to being that expert in helping someone else get a question answered and trying to solve someone's problem. You can do it on multiple channels. It doesn't have to be across the table, face to face in the client boardroom. It could be anywhere you want it to be.